Hey everybody, it's Mayor John Huffman and welcome to this week's Minute with the Mayor. And this week we have a very special guest, my favorite person in the world, my beautiful wife and First Lady of Southlake, Elizabeth Huffman. Thank you for joining me.
I'm so excited. I finally get a minute with the mayor.
Okay, fair point. Our lives are busy. No, but thank you for joining us. Today is really cool because we're talking about the Celebrate Southlake Community Cookbook. Now, if you guys saw on social media back in the spring, we had a really cool connection with our Celebrate Southlake event, which, as you know, happens every March or April, and we bring the community together to celebrate different cultures, different communities around town, and all the things that make them special and unique. And this year we thought it'd be really cool to do a community cookbook where all of you could submit your recipes, things that are connected to you and your family and your culture into one cookbook, and we could put it all out for the city to see and to celebrate. And honey, I believe you had a few submissions as well.
I did. I put a couple things in there.
One of them was the spinach Parmesan balls, right?
Yes, so that was the first thing I made for our very first Thanksgiving, and you love them. So it's like our big tradition in our family is I make the spinach balls, which are actually my aunt's recipe.
Oh, they're so good. You guys are lucky. Make those as soon as you can. But you're here actually going to demonstrate another one of your recipes that is going to be a really fun activity.
Yeah, so also in the cookbook I added some homemade Play-Doh, which has always been like my go-to Play-Doh with my kids, especially when they were younger. But especially when it's hot outside and you're trying to do activities with your kids inside, it's fun to just get in the kitchen, get a little bit messy, and make some Play-Doh. So that's what I'm going to show you how to make today.
And just to be clear, this is not Play-Doh to eat, right?
Right, this is not edible Play-Doh, although it is in the kitchen.
Deal. All right, well, I can't wait to see. And I can play with it too at the end?
Yeah, you absolutely have at it.
All right, honey, show us how to do this.
Okay. All right, so we start with just 2 cups of flour, and I use just all-purpose flour. So after you add your flour, you add your salt. It's a lot of salt. This is why this is not something that you want to eat. Okay, so add your salt, and then you're gonna add 2 cups of water. And then one of the key ingredients is actually 1/4 cup of the cream of tartar, which I've already pre-measured. So you'll add that, and then 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil or olive oil, whatever you have on hand. Most of these ingredients you're gonna have on hand in your kitchen. And then you stir it up, and if you have kids that like to snitch your batter, you want to make sure that they know that this is Play-Doh and not icing. I know this from experience. All right, so once you have a really good consistency, it's all mixed, kind of like a muffin mix, cookies, cake batter, then this is when you would want to divide it into different sections and put your food coloring in right before you cook it. All right, you can pour about half of the batter in. And then this is when you'll add your food coloring. And I'm going to use just traditional, beautiful dragon green. I like to use the gel because it gives a really vibrant color, a little bit better than some of the drops. And once you mix all of it in, then I will turn the stove on to like a medium heat. So you want to cook this over medium heat, and you want to stir the entire time because it actually only takes about 3 or 4 minutes, and the Play-Doh happens fast. So you'll see I'm just stirring regularly, and as it heats up on the bottom, you can sort of see that it's starting to form. You can start seeing right now it's starting to get clumpy, and you want that. You want it to look clumpy. You want it to look kind of a little bit gross, but that means that the Play-Doh is forming. One of the things I like about this Play-Doh is that it lasts a long time. So if you put it in an airtight container, this will actually can last for about a month or so. And then this is just a good activity to kind of beat the heat. And it's also really good for sensory play. If you have kids that need something to do with their hands, this is a really, really good activity. When my kids were a little bit younger, I would read books aloud to them while they would play with the Play-Doh. And I could get in probably a good 30 minutes or an hour of reading time just to have something for them to do. So you can see right now that it's starting to get really, really clumpy. This is actually the very last phase before the Play-Doh has turned into something that you can use and touch and mold. And then I just start folding it over and pushing it down into the heat. All right, so now you can see it's getting a little bit harder for me to push it down, and this is when I turn off my stove and I will turn it out onto my counter. Still a little bit hot for me to touch, but this is when I'll just kind of knead it a little bit, and then I flatten it, and then I let it cool while I'm working with the other color. So that was a good 15-minute activity, something fun to do inside with your kids, and just remember that no one's ever too old to play with Play-Doh.
Hey, Dragon Green, very appropriate. Thank you so much for showing us how to do this. I'm sure everybody will enjoy this fun activity and recipe, and all the other recipes in the Celebrate Southlake Cookbook, which is available now for digital download on the Celebrate Southlake website there on your screen. Thanks again for joining us, honey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I hope you guys enjoy the cookbook. We'll see you next week on Minute with the Mayor.